Okay, hello, I am Javier, to all of you. Today I'm doing a review of a movie I saw last night, late last night, Need for Speed. Just before I start, I just want to say to our fellow subscriber, we only have one so far, that we'll be having a new channel soon where we'll be doing our movie reviews from now on. I'm thinking of calling me and my friend Connor the Enrichment Critics, and that's what we're thinking of calling it, and that's probably what we will call it. And we'll be doing our movie reviews there from now on. I don't know when I'll have the channel up. I should get it up soon, but that's where we'll be doing movie reviews from now on. So this is the last movie review I'm going to be posting on my normal channel. So I'm here to talk about Need for Speed. I saw it late last night at a 10:10 showing, and to get a little background, Need for Speed is a gaming series, and I own like 4 of them. I own 4 games from Need for Speed. Most Wanted, 2012, Rivals, Hot Pursuit, and World. I love the games. I love playing them. I love to just go racing, to smash cars, to beat cops, and to have fun with cops, and just race and just run, and it's a fun game, and it's a really successful racing series. And when I heard they were going to make a movie about it last summer or last fall, I was really excited. And I told myself not to get my hopes up too high, and because I don't think this is going to be that successful of a film. Like, it won't be a blockbuster hit, but it'll be something people will want to go see because it's a racing movie and some people like hot cars. Okay, so I went to go see it. First impressions of it, what do I think of it? It's okay for an action flick. I mean, okay, well, let's start with the story. The story is that we have a group. I don't remember all their names. I do remember the main character, Toby Marshall, played by Aaron Paul, and he's a mechanic. He likes to work on cars. He likes to build cars, and he owns a shop, Marshall Motors, in New York, and he fixes cars there. At night, and I don't know when this often happens, he would go and do street racing, and all the roads would be closed off, and all the roads, they would close it off. I don't know how they close off the roads. I don't even know how they get permission for it, but they close off the roads and they have street races. And the racer usually takes a pot of about money. They get a reward of money. And it's hosted by this person played by Michael Keaton. He hosts these races called the DeLorean, and he just invites people to race, and they usually don't get caught by the cops. In fact, almost they never do. And so that's what he does for a side thing. He's a racer. He likes to race. But his everyday job when he's not racing, he's just fixing cars. So after one night when he won a race and got $5,000, Dino, I don't know who plays him, comes in and he makes a deal with him about a car he wants him to build, a 2014 Mustang. And it's a pretty nice looking car in the movie, for Mustang. And then Toby says, okay, fine. But it doesn't seem too bad about it, because Dino is kind of like an old acquaintance and a person they don't really like, because he's just kind of a mean person. He's the villain in the movie, technically, Dino, but we'll get to him in a little bit. So Dino asks him to build this car for him, and he'll give him half of what they are going to get for how much they pay for the car. So if they get like $2 million for the car, if somebody pays $2 million for this car, then he'll get like $500,000 of it. He'll get 25%, Dino said, and Toby's like, okay. And the reason why he said okay is because his business is going down the tubes. He's not making a lot of money, and he needs this money. So they built the car, and then they showed off to the showcase, and Dino is like, and Toby kind of steals the spotlight because he and his team built the car, and Dino didn't really do any of it. And also, Dino said not to test drive the car for the first people who were interested in buying it, and he did at a track, saying that it'll go 230, and Dino said no, it doesn't go 230, but Toby said it goes 230, and he proved it, and Dino didn't want him to do that, so Dino got a little mad, and so he challenged him to a race because he's getting the impression that Toby's trying to tell him by showing off this stuff and stealing the spotlight away that I'm a better driver than you. That's kind of the idea he's getting. So he goes, so they have a street race in these 3 Kenner Segueros, beautiful cars, and he owns them, and they go racing, street racing in it, and they with three people: Toby, Marshall, Dino, and a person named Little Pete, which I'll get to in a bit. So they race, and then the finish line was like at a bridge, and then they're racing, and then Dino actually makes Little Pete crash his car, and Little Pete dies in a car crash. The car like flips over and it's a ball of fire, and then rolls off the bridge, and then Toby goes back for him, and this was all part of Dino's plan because Dino actually framed Toby for a crime. That he's kind of responsible for the death of Little Pete, and that he stole the Kenosec cars. He set him up saying that he stole these Kenosec cars, which are illegal as of in this movie, that they shouldn't be in the U.S. I don't know why, and I kind of don't care. So he's framed, and he's in prison for 2 years, and after the 2 years, he plans on going to the Des Moines in California, and he's in New York, so he has to race to California. And they are some pretty action scenes and the trip there, but okay, I'm lost. Okay, so he got out of prison, and now he's gonna go to the Des Moines, and now he's going to get even with Dino for killing off his friend. Okay, so I don't want to say any more about the story. It just plays off from there: action car sequences, chase scenes, blah blah blah. It's called Need for Speed. Okay, so what is good about the movie? Let's start with what's good about the movie. What's good is the racing scenes. They're just unbelievable, and it's not CG. They actually get these cars to race. They actually made replicas, and they actually bought the cars, they made replicas, and they used them in the film. It's not CG. They actually do wreck these cars. Good thing they're replicas. And it's really good because these racing scenes are just great fun to watch. It's a blast if you're into racing, and there's a lot of good angle shots, and there's a lot of good crashes and explosions and stuff. It's action for racing is pretty good. And if you played a Need for Speed game like I have, yes, it's exactly like that. So if you're expecting not a lot of action, not a lot of suspense, not a lot of crashing, racing stuff from Need for Speed, no, those scenes where it's racing, it does do Need for Speed. It highlights what the Need for Speed game is about. What's also good about the film is the fact that the store. No, that's not good. But basically, the action in it is really good, and I really enjoyed Fun Blast. Now let's talk about the bad stuff. Story and characters, it's dull, it's boring, it's no fun. Like Toby, we don't get into him at all. He has little to no character. It never goes developed. He's just like a ghost character. He's just like, we never find out anything about him. Through this whole 2-hour movie, we never find anything really good about him. All we know about him is that he's just a mechanic, and that he does street racing, and that he's just out for revenge. That's all I really got. This person has really no character, and I really wanted to see, from a racer's perspective, what he feels and what like racing is to him inside, and I don't get that. And mostly all the characters, the villain, his friends, the side characters, they have little to no personality at all. I mean, I was expecting a little more. I mean, very little to no. I mean, just a average development of them, that would have been a better film, but, I mean, there's very little. Okay, so the story, not the best. In fact, it's kind of like the story for that video game, Need for Speed. The Run, it's very similar. Not quite, but it's very similar, same type of thing, New York to California. You have to get there in time for a race. But it's just a boring story, and most of the time it's just showing them, throughout the movie, just showing them traveling from New York to California, and then when they have chase scenes, it's awesome to watch, but other than that, they're just talking, and it's not really dramatic. It's not really too dramatic, and it's not really just boring. It's just boring to watch. They just talk, and it's not really that fun to make them talk. If they said hilarious stuff, it would have been great fun. And there is some jokes in here, and some of them got us laughing, but it could have maybe used a little more humor when Toby Marshall and this girl, the blonde-haired girl, go on this trip to California, and they could have put in a little more jokes, or just make the talks they have a little more grabbing, intrigue, and entertaining. It's just boring. So basically, my final thoughts about the movie is, should you go see it or not? Well, if you're into Need for Speed and you want racing movie and just want to see racing cars crashing and stuff, that's fine. This has a ton of that and it's great fun to watch. But if you're looking for a development of a story and memorable stuff and just an all-out good film, it's not really that. In fact, it's not doing well on the thermometer. But I think I would give this, on my scale from 0 to 100, I would give it a 51. Because I do think it's decent. Maybe I'm just defending it because I love the Need for Speed gaming series. But other than that, it's just what it is. The title just gives it away. It's a racing movie. And most racing movies just have racing, and that's really all the good stuff about it. I think the movie could have just used a little more character development, a better story, a little more hilarious, a little more, maybe some scenes were a little too dull. I think we could have had a little better chase scenes and and for the final scene, I think they could have had a little more chasing scenes and that could have probably gotten a better review. But overall, just the only thing that's good is just a racing movie. You're gonna see racing, you're gonna see cars racing, you're gonna see some rivalry, but other than that, everything else is just bland and characters are dull, story is dull. The